Hey, I'm Pascal from Orangepixel, and this video we're gonna talk about my new game, Regulator City, which I've been working on for more than a year now. Pretty sure more than a year, constantly, full-time, all that stuff. But I'm not feeling it, and I think I worked myself into a bit of a corner and a bit of into a problem. After the intro. We're gonna talk about all that after the intro. So the problem I created for myself with Regulator City is probably working too long on certain aspects of the game and not having an exact clear idea of what I wanted the game to be. I had a pretty good idea, real-time tactical stuff, but in an arcadey setting, so not pausing to give your team commands or not doing all that stuff, but literally everything would happen real time, and your team would pretty much be an extension of you as a player. They would be around you, helping you take out the enemies, and you can trust them to do the things they need to be doing. That stuff is all in the game, and I'm very proud of it, but it took a lot of testing, and everything else around it just didn't get to that point where it should be after this amount of time working on a game. Pretty much that's literally the problem. I'm now into the project like a little over a year. I should have been much closer to wrapping it up by now. That's a problem. Now, before you climb into your keyboard and start typing in the comments what I did wrong and what I should have done and all those well-meant advice thingies, I know the mistakes I made, although I don't think they're very big mistakes. But creativity, creating games, you pretty much have an idea and a vision, and that's what you're gonna try to create. And of course, everybody has feedback. Everybody thinks I should have done that, or I should have made it turn-based, or it doesn't look as you wanted it to look or expected it to look. Everybody has an opinion. As a game developer, you have to go pretty much take all that in, but don't get distracted by all of that, because everybody else wants something else. So I tried to create the game I had in mind, and we're there almost. It's close to what I had in mind, but right now my creativity just is a big blockade of no new ideas coming in and no way, or not knowing how to push through and wrap it up, which is a big problem because the game needs to be wrapped up. And originally I had a much bigger vision, I had a much bigger game in mind and a lot more stuff happening, and I've wasted weeks trying to get that city map up and running in a certain way, and I'm still not sure it's currently in the right way, but it's dumbed down. It's a lot smaller than I originally wanted. I wanted to be able to take over the city and place buildings, and they would then... I had a lot of ideas and none of them really worked or fit into the game. So you try a lot of stuff when creating games, and a lot of stuff just doesn't work out, and then you wasted time on that. And in this project there has just been a lot of things that I wasted time on just trying them out, and I had to try them out, so there was no other way to do it. But some of these things took just too much time, in my own opinion. I am my own boss, I am independent, nobody's telling me, nobody's forcing me. But for me, I know this game needs to be wrapped up, and I can't keep experimenting with things. I now need to make bold decisions, which those are not fun to make, but they need to be made by somebody, and since nobody else is telling me what to do, I am the one that needs to make these decisions, and I need to make it happen now. And the first thing is, of course, admitting that I need to change things and made mistakes for this game, and it makes me feel very small. Hang on. Alright, this is much better. So I'm changing things and I'm dimming down or dumbing down the game that I designed, and obviously I wanted to make a much bigger game. That's not gonna happen, it's not healthy. I just read a report that 80% of games made less than $5,000 on Steam this year, released this year, and that's something you have to keep in mind when you're creating games. And creating games is a lot of fun, but it has to be released and it has to make money in order to keep making games. First thing I did already, and that's this week, dumbing down the enemy AI, the enemy opponents. This is not the squad AI, which has taken me so much time to make that work. That's perfect, that stays in the game as it is. So pretty much they would move to certain things and it made them look very random or very chaotic. And it was very hard for the player to decide when can I sneak up on an enemy, when is it safe to walk behind him, because you never knew what the enemy was gonna do. Very realistic, just not a lot of fun in games. So the new AI code for the enemies is like 600 lines of code less. Lines of code doesn't say much because I might be very messy and now I created a very clean version of that same AI. But trust me, it's a lot shorter, it's a lot clearer for the player what's happening, and it's a lot easier for me to maintain and improve on. Besides that, I still have a bunch of creative blockade happening for this game. I want to add extra things like I do in all my games, so like pick up items, pick up weapons, all that stuff. There is now a weapon system in the game, but it doesn't really matter much to the game which weapon you're using, pretty much. So I guess that could still work. Many games have that, like old school shooters do the same. Every weapon pretty much does the same, kill enemies, just better and faster. And that's pretty much the difference between the weapons. I could go that way, but then it really becomes just a top-down shooter, and I wanted, there I go again, I wanted more, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I just should be happy with an interesting weapon system and pickups and all that. But yeah, I have a creative block. I literally have a creative block for this game, and I need to wrap up this game. That's really the big problem I'm struggling with right now. But I think I have a solution. Vacation. That's pretty much my solution. And as this video goes live, I am actually on my first vacation, a week off from work, no work ideas at all. Since 2019, then COVID hit and everything, and the world got destroyed and all those things. And Aline and I didn't really take any days off. She has her store. Now the store did go in lockdown, as was normal in those years. But still, she had tried to create more orders online. So she made videos and she showed the new stuff, and then we would actually deliver those things to local customers. And I've been working on games non-stop. Space Grunts 2 was done, the Snake Core, Residual. Now this game I've been working non-stop, and maybe I should focus on the stop for a little bit. So right now 1 week vacation. So yeah, a week vacation to just clear my head, focus on stuff, other stuff, and then dive back into it, and hopefully with some good ideas. Because the game, I need to start wrapping it up. The game doesn't have to be done or released this year, but I am still trying to make it happen and have it done and completed before the year is over, because then I can start working on new games and new titles, because I'll have to release a lot of new games next year. I haven't released a new game this year. Residual was the last one last year. It's about time to release something. And yeah, that I just need to wrap up the game. That's the big problem. I think I now just covered everything I wrote down. I wrote down a bunch of other things, but yeah, I'm just in a tough place with this game, and I think that's okay. I mean, the last couple of games, or just the projects I started, the prototypes, they all turned into released games. Space Grunts 2, Snake or Residual, they all went from prototype stage to a completed commercially released game on different platforms, and then Regulator City. And yeah, maybe this game isn't gonna be the game I had in mind. It's gonna get very close to it, as long as I just keep pushing and make sure it actually gets finished. And yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle, but every now and then one of the game projects has to be a struggle, and then the next game project will hopefully go smoother again. I'd probably plan in something smaller. The next game will be scope-wise a lot smaller, so that there is room to just play around with stuff. And this just feels like work now. I mean, it is work, it is my job, but it feels like work. It doesn't feel nice, and it should feel nice. So that's it for this week's video. I can't make it much more positive than me being on vacation as you're watching this. That's a positive thought, I hope, at least for me. Maybe not for you, but for me. So thanks for watching. And of course, if you have comments or ideas or whatever on this game, just drop them in the comments below. I can't just implement all ideas, and sometimes ideas are awesome, just not for the game I'm working on. Of course, I have a vision and I have a timeline and I have money running out, so I can't fit every idea into it. It just needs to be done. We're gonna get there. But first, a little break and then back on the game. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.